Hey everyone, me again. If you're new around here, my name's Alice and I make videos all about affordable beauty and fashion. First of all, I'm really sorry that I've missed a couple of uploads recently. I'm sure you can all appreciate that with the current climate, everything's kind of a bit up in the air for me at the moment. I'm not going to bore you with too many details, but part of my job is event planning, so you can imagine how difficult things are right now. Of course, I do recognise that I am in an incredibly privileged position and that a lot of people right now have much bigger problems than that. But yeah, that's just why I haven't had time to film or edit recently. I just thought I'd keep you updated. I'm going to try my best to keep things going as normal over here and to just keep posting twice a week when I can, because I just feel like it's nice to have a distraction right now. I certainly need a distraction right now. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about some affordable makeup releases and whether or not I'm going to buy them. So the first thing I have in my notes is the Glass Skin launch from Revolution. I always start out with Revolution in these videos just because they launch so much stuff. There's always lots to talk about. At the time I'm filming this, there is a bit of drama with this launch just because they've launched a highlighter that has the same component as a highlighter from Manny MUA's brand, Luna Beauty. They've taken that product off the market, so I won't talk about that particular product, but there are other things within that launch that we can go into. So they launched a few products as part of this range. So there are 2 eyeshadow palettes, 2 primers, there's a lip gloss, and there are 2 fixing sprays as well. Most of the collection just didn't really catch my eye, but I am very interested in the 2 primers in this collection. So there's the Glass Liquid Skin Illuminating Primer Serum for £8. I do really like the look of this, but I do want to see someone else do a really detailed review or mention of it in a video because I want to know what the texture's like. So from the picture, it comes in a little droplet bottle and it looks like it might be quite similar to their baking oil, which I really love. So if it's like that, then I'm really interested in the product. But if it's like a thinner texture, then I don't really need it in my collection. So yeah, I just want to know a little bit more about that product before I buy it. There was something else that looked quite interesting as well. They launched another primer as well called the Glass Skin Primer Ultimate Dewy Finish for £10. And that looked quite interesting as well. I saw Makeup by Jack mention it in one of his recent YouTube videos, and he said that it felt quite thick. So I'm not 100% sure if that is something that I want to get. I do like the sound of it, but I don't know yet. When it comes to primers, I'm a lot more picky than I used to be. iHeart Revolution also launched a few new eyeshadow palettes. So there's a peach and avocado range. They've got 2 mini palettes for £6 each, and then a larger peach palette for £10. I really like these novelty palettes from iHeart Revolution. I've got quite a few of the chocolate ones. I really like the formula, the cute packaging. I think they're really good products for the price. It's just that these particular colour stories don't appeal to me at all. I think they're just a little bit too bright and too colourful for me. I know that makes me sound like the most boring person in the world, but I think when it comes to makeup, I am quite boring in my tastes. So yeah, they're not for me personally, but I do think they're really cute. And then iHeart Revolution did launch these really cute little lip balms for £3 each. They sounded really nice, and I actually was considering picking up the vanilla cake one, but in the end I didn't because Obsession have just dropped some lip balms as well. I don't know why they do this. I've said this in, I think it was my last Will I Buy It video, but I find that the different brands among Revolution, you know, Revolution, Revolution Pro, iHeart Revolution and Obsession, they can sometimes launch very similar products a couple of weeks apart. I just don't really understand why. But in this case, I do actually prefer the Obsession one. So Obsession have launched some lip balms as well. And I think it's safe to say that they're duping Glossier with these products because the packaging and the scents are very similar to the Glossier variety, but obviously these ones are a bit cheaper. So these are £5 each. I've never tried the Glossier balms that these are duping, so I can't really say if they're as good quality, but I'm very interested to try the Obsession ones. And at the same time, they also released some stick highlighters and some cheek lip duos. It's basically lots of like really chunky stick products that you can just draw on your face. I don't really use a lot of cream products just because I have to layer up my foundation so much these days. Cream products just kind of disturb all the layers that I've built up. So they're not really for me. I do like the idea of this kind of product though, and if I had better skin, I would definitely think about picking up some of the cheek lip duos. They also launched some lip glosses for £5. I don't really wear a lot of lip gloss, especially the kind that comes in a little tube like this, but it still looks like a really nice product. It's just not for me. I thought this next launch was quite interesting. Revolution Skincare have brought out some SPF. So they've launched SPF 15 and SPF 30, and they've got two different varieties. So there's normal to dry skin, and then there's normal to oily skin as well. And they are £10 each. I think the launch is quite interesting. SPF is really important. I use SPF every single day, and it's nice to see one that's relatively affordable. To me, it looks like a moisturizer with added SPF, which doesn't really interest me personally. I prefer to use a moisturizer and then a separate SPF, but this looks kind of ideal for people who like to combine both of those steps. I know that I used to do that a few years ago when I was a bit younger and my skin wasn't quite as irritable as it is right now. Right now I have the most sensitive skin in the world, so I think I'm going to be giving this one a miss just because I can't really try any new skincare right now. I can't risk it. I did try a few things from Revolution Skincare towards the end of last year, and if you haven't seen my blog post about it, I didn't get along with a lot of the products. My skin is just too sensitive, basically. I Heart Revolution have also brought out some little Easter palettes as well. They're in these novelty rabbit shapes. They're very, very cute. They're only £6 each, which isn't that bad. I just don't think I'm the target demographic for this launch. I feel like it's for people who are a lot younger than me. But I think they're really cute, and if I knew someone who was a bit younger, then I would think about getting them this, or if I knew someone who maybe couldn't have chocolate at Easter, then I would probably pick this up. I think there's definitely going to be people who really like this launch, it's just not for me. So I usually talk about Colourpop after Revolution. They normally release quite a few products as well. At the moment, they've been surprisingly quiet over the last few weeks. I've only got 3 launches, 3 collections to talk about. For them, that's not that many. But in fairness, the first collection was quite a big launch, so it's the Sailor Moon collection, and they brought quite a few things out for this. So there was the eyeshadow palette, there were 2 of those glitter gel things, there were 2 lip products and 2 blushes. I thought the collection looked really cute. I've never watched Sailor Moon, but I still thought it looked really, really cute, and I loved the packaging. I'm always really drawn to eyeshadow palettes when I see a collection launch. That's probably the first thing I look at. This particular one didn't really jump out at me. I think it was the kind of pops of bright colours that put me off, because that's just not really something that I reach for. I did think about getting the glitter gel in Moon Prism Power, which is really difficult for me to say for some reason. So that was the purple glitter gel. I did think about getting that, but it was sold out last time I was on the website. And then the rest of the products just didn't really catch my eye. They've also brought out some sponges as well, which I think is pretty cool. I always love seeing affordable brands bringing out makeup sponges. I might try these at some point. I'm kind of curious, but I'm not that desperate to try them out because I've just bulk ordered a load of my usual sponges from Shop Missy. If you've watched any of my makeup tutorials, you'll know this, but I usually use the Shop Missy sponges. They are $1.55 each, which frankly I think is the price that all sponges should be. I've very, very recently just ordered a ton of them, so I'm not going to try the Colourpop one anytime soon, but I'm going to be keeping an eye out for reviews and seeing what other people think for sure. And then Colourpop launched the Mauve collection. You know when you hear a song and you think, this song is all about me? Well, that's how I feel about the Colourpop Mauve collection. Every single product in this launch just spoke to me on a very personal level. So if you want to see the products individually in a bit more detail, that girl Shay just made a really good video showing all of the products and doing swatches. But there was an eyeshadow palette for $14, there was a set of Super Shock shadows for $10, there were 2 blushes for $8 each, and there were 2 lip glosses, which seem to have disappeared off the website somehow. Obviously the first thing I looked at with this collection was the eyeshadow palette. I love cool toned eyeshadows, I love neutral eyeshadows, I love boring eyeshadows. So I was so happy to see this particular palette. It's been a really long time since I've been really excited by a makeup launch, just because there are so many at the moment, but this one really stood out to me. So I have actually ordered the Making Mauves palette. I ordered it I think the day after it launched, just because I loved the look of it so much. Like I said, I do really love cool toned eyeshadow, but it's been a long time since I've had something this cool toned. You know, something that leans towards the purple, almost grey kind of look. It's been a really long time since I've had a palette that looked like that, and I imagine I'll do a video when it finally arrives. I do find that Colourpop orders take a while to get to me. Usually they take about 3 weeks to get to me just because I'm in the UK. But as soon as I get it, I'll film a video and show you a tutorial and all that good stuff. I did also order the 2 Super Shock shadows as well, so I'll show you those 2 when they get here. And then there aren't that many launches from other brands at the moment, or at least nothing that I've seen on Instagram anyway. I don't know if it's just this time of year, if companies are a little bit quieter, or if maybe brands are delaying launches because of what's going on in the world, maybe, who knows. But Morphe did recently launch some products. So they brought out a new eyeshadow palette for £18. It's called their Sunset Beats Artistry Palette. And it's an interesting colour scheme. It's got like some greens in there and a little pop of red. It does look very, very summery. Again, the colour story just doesn't appeal to me at all. But I do like the size of this palette. I'm not really drawn to like the bigger palettes that Morphe make, just because I don't really use bigger eyeshadow palettes in general. I get a bit overwhelmed by having too many colours to choose from, and then I can't figure out how to do my makeup. But I do like the look of this one. I like that this one's a little bit smaller and also a little bit cheaper because it's smaller as well, obviously. So I'm interested to see if they bring out other smaller palettes. They've also launched the Glamour Bronze Face and Body Bronzers. They are £19. I don't think I have a bronzer in my collection that cost more than about £5, so to me this just seems a little bit pricey. But that being said, these bronzers do come in quite an extensive shade selection, and I don't really see that a lot in the drugstore, so I do appreciate that that might be what you're paying for, and it might be worth paying a little bit more if you've struggled to find a particular bronzer shade in the drugstore. For example, they have a really, really pale one, and they also have a really, really deep one as well. So maybe if you're at either end of the spectrum, especially the deeper end of the spectrum, you might really struggle to find a nice bronzer, so it's nice that there is one out there. And then finally we have 3 products from Sleek. I haven't seen a lot of launches from Sleek recently. I don't know if I'm just completely missing them on Instagram when I look for these new launches, or if they're just not launching as many products, or what's going on. But I feel like it's been a really long time since I've seen them release like a new product. So their new launch looks very, very summery. They've got 2 highlighters. There's one in a palette and then there's one liquid highlighter. And they've also released a very, very, very colourful eyeshadow palette as well. So the eyeshadow palette, again, I'm a really boring eyeshadow person, so this is far too colourful and far too adventurous for me. The highlighters, I've heard really good things about Sleek highlighters, but these are completely the wrong shades for my skin tone, so I personally will be giving them a miss. But they do really give me some Fenty vibes, especially the liquid highlighter. That one looks like a liquid version of, I think it's called Trophy Wife, the bright yellow gold highlighter. So maybe people looking for a drugstore version of that would really, really like these launches. I think the palette especially looks beautiful for deeper skin tones. Like that red shade, that could maybe be a blush or a highlighter depending on your skin tone, or even an eyeshadow. It's one of those things that it's not for me personally, but I do think it would look really, really beautiful on other people. And that's it for today's video. Those are all the recent launches that I've been able to find on Instagram. I feel like there definitely weren't as many as there usually are in these videos. I'm not sure if that's because of the current climate, or if this is just a quiet time of year for makeup launches, who knows. But either way, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know in the comments section below what products you are really excited about, and also let me know what products you're not excited about. Let me know what products you really, really don't like the look of as well, and we can have a chat down there. That's everything from me today. If you've made it this far into the video and you're not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. I'm going to be trying to continue uploading 2 videos every single week on Wednesdays and Sundays at 9 AM. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.